What's going on, everyone? Today I got another video for you guys, and I got a little project on my hand that I've been putting off for quite some time, and I think it's about time we just knock that out. One of the things that's been bothering me about this car for the longest has been, as you can tell from the wheel situation that we got going on here, it's pretty dull. I like the wheel, but part of me, the calipers in the background does not fit in quite well, especially now that I've been adding some accessories to the car. Including this yellow tow hook, tow strap, whatever you want to call it. And one of my favorite modifications that I just recently did on this car would have to be this pretty awesome. Oh, it would help if I had the car open. Pretty sick steering wheel. And it does obviously have the yellow accents there. So, just really want to get the car lined up. And I think it will fit pretty well, especially with the yellow DRLs that I currently have on the car, which I think are absolutely sick. And one of these days I'm going to do an overall video on the current mods that I currently have on my 2018 F80 M3. But in the meantime, we'll just get into the video. Alright, so just to start off with some of the materials that I'm going to be using for this paint job. Primarily is going to be, obviously we got some wheel cleaner, we got some brake cleaner, we got some primer, clear coat, the paint itself, and I went with this Duplicolor yellow, which I don't know how I'm feeling about how bright this cap is. I hope when I spray it, it comes out a little different. But in the meantime, we're going to try this, and hey, if I screw up, either way, I was planning on getting these powder coated at one point, but I figured I'd give it a crack at it by doing it myself. So for those that want to know, this is part number BCP101, and it's called Caliper Yellow. You can pick this up in your local Napa Auto Parts or AutoZone Advance, whatever you want to, whatever you prefer. So yeah. All right. So first things first, guys. What I'm going to be doing is going to be jacking up the cars, putting it on jack stands, and at that point, we're just really going to prep the car. We're going to mask off the areas we don't want to be painting, especially the rotor piece, the suspension piece in the back part. So we're going to try our best to really mask this bad boy up. Last thing I want to do is be cleaning with some acetone to remove some of these lovely oversprays. So let's get started. In the meantime, let's see if I can give you guys a pretty neat cold start. I think this car, you either love or hate the way how this car sounds, but I personally like it. It doesn't bother me. A lot of people are not a fan of these S55s and their rasp, but we did some things to kind of deal with the rasp. We'll see if you guys like it. We'll make a video one of these days. But all right, here we go. Alright guys, we're back at it again, day 2 of the project. I had to put a little pause at it, but I'm back at it, and just gonna give a little recap of what I've done so far. All I did really was just jack up the car, put it on some jack stands, just finished degreasing with some regular purple power and some wheel cleaner just to get all that dust off of the actual caliper itself. That's the one thing I would say about these pads. These are just regular OEM pads, but these things are just brake dust producers, man. These things, the calipers were a pain in the ass to clean, but they're fairly clean right now. And as you can see, I already did a pass with some sandpaper just to kind of prep the paint. The one thing you want to do is really prep this paint to avoid the paint peeling within a few months or a year or so. I would like this to last quite a bit. So I'm just going to sand it down a little bit better on all 4 sides. One thing that really gave me a tough time was actually getting the wheel off of this hub. As you can see, it's pretty rusty, and word of advice for the future, anyone dealing with the same issue, I would recommend just taking a wire brush or some sort and just cleaning this out pretty good, and maybe putting some anti-seize or something that can help eliminate that metal to metal weld essentially that happens when you put the wheels and you leave the wheels on for a long time. This is probably the most time-consuming part of the job. Really, is just the prep work, and obviously you want to spend the time now, so you don't have to spend the time later. So currently, right now, I just have it masked up. I scuffed it up a bit with some sandpaper. I used about 150 grit and a 320 to finish it off, and essentially just mask off all the essential parts. I don't want to get any paint on the rotors, or essentially back here where the actual pads are, and I'm going to replace the pad sooner or later, so if I get some paint on that, it's not the end of the world. And if I do have some overspray, I'll just wipe it down with some alcohol. But pretty much, yeah, guys, I'm just going to throw some primer, about 3 coats of that. I'm using this stuff here, high temp primer. Alright guys, this is where we're at now. I applied 3 coats of primer, 3 coats of the yellow, and now I'm going to start applying the clear coat over this. So ideally what I did is put the M logo there. It was pretty tough to kind of rip the sticker off without trying to peel the paint, but either way we got it done. Now I'm just applied 3 coats of clear to seal the deal, and we're pretty much done. Something I also wanted to do, which I completely forgot before I started masking up the car, I should have just taken off the front bumper, because I'm also looking to paint the beam that you see back there. I don't know if you can see that, but I also want to paint that yellow. I see it on most F80s and it looks pretty sweet, so I'm gonna give it a shot tomorrow morning once I get the car down and get this bumper off. Alright, part 2 to the project. I got the front bumper off, and now I just sanded down that front brace. I shot some primer on it, light coat first, and then I'm gonna go in with a little heavier coat, and then I'll probably put about 3 coats of that yellow to match the calipers, and hopefully it turns out pretty good. So far the calipers look pretty awesome in my opinion, just to give you the final product. And honestly, based on the color, I really love the yellow. I actually thought I wasn't gonna like it, considering the cap was a lot lighter, but this is a nice dark hue. It matches pretty closely to my steering wheel, just to give you a quick glimpse of that as well. Yeah, so I'll check in with you guys once I finish painting the front base. Alright, I'm really starting to like how this is coming out. So far so good. I shot 3 coats, I believe, of the yellow stuff, and now I'm just letting it dry for about 20 minutes, and I'm going to shoot some clear, about 3 coats of that as well. And honestly, really, you don't really need clear for this process. I figure I just do it now that I'm here. The finish is actually pretty shiny, and honestly, this is behind the bumper. You only see a certain portion, maybe like this area here and that area there, but the middle stuff and the stuff in the bottom there, you don't really get to see once you put the bumper on. It's just slight hints of yellow you're going to see through the grills, which I think is going to look a lot more aggressive, and it's going to add some characteristics to the actual front end. So we'll see how it turns out. The next scene, I'll have the car essentially put back together. I'll give it a nice little wash, and we'll do some nice B-roll. Also, I took advantage of the time since I was waiting for the stuff to dry to really clean these things, these wheels. As you can see, oh man, these things look badass. A lot of brake dust, like I said before, in the back. That's all kind of resolved here. So far so good, and these things are gonna look really good with a little bit of yellow in the back with the calipers. So we'll see. So we are officially complete with this project. Honestly, I think this thing looks super sweet. But you guys be the judge of it. Leave your comments below if you guys agree. I sincerely think the gray, the mineral gray with the yellow, suits this car lovely with the DRLs. Whew. Sheesh. Just give you a quick walk around. Sorry for the wind. It's pretty windy out here. I'm just glad the sun came out because it was raining all morning. Honestly, I think the yellow fits very well with this car. I mean, at least with the steering wheel and all the other accents I have on it. I don't want to overwhelm the car with too much yellow, but I think just a splash of yellow here and there would do the job. But yeah, I mean, the job itself wasn't too bad. It took me several days, honestly, because I was taking my time and I really wanted to mask it up. Didn't want to deal with the overspray, but you can knock this out, honestly, within a few hours. The paint cures pretty quickly. Now, the only issue I would say, and my tip to getting this done correctly, is the temperature, because honestly, these past couple of days, it's been in the low 50s to 60s, so it's been fluctuating quite a bit. So it takes obviously, the colder it is, the harder it is for the paint to cure. But so far so good. I mean, I do have a little bit of runs. It's not a perfect job. I wouldn't say it's 100%, but shit, I mean, considering that you're gonna pay a shop anywhere from $400 to $500 when you could just knock this out yourself for a few, maybe $100 with materials. And honestly, I overspend, but I had some stuff lying around, like some masking tape and all that stuff. Other than that, I mean, you're gonna spend at most $100 on the material itself. Just give you a quick look around on the other side. This caliper here gave me the hardest time. I don't know, I screwed up too many times. I was trying to clean up the actual hub, and I accidentally nicked the. All right, well, enough with the talking. I'll leave a few clips of some B-roll that I had taken a few minutes ago. Hopefully you guys enjoy, man. If you guys like the content, just like, share, subscribe. This video I plan on doing is a quick build breakdown on the actual car itself. So if you guys are interested,